Hello, my friends. Brett Pattison coming at you from the financial capital of the West. That is Salt Lake City, Utah. I'm with Iron Gate Global Advisors, and we're going to address a very important issue today. That is investing behavior, the do's and don'ts. I've been teaching and working with what you would call retail investors and advisors, for that matter, for well over a decade. And there's an important thing that prevents them from making money, and that's investing behavior. You've got to understand the biggest obstacle getting in the way of building your wealth is you. And here's a great quote by Warren Buffett as to the reason why. He says the stock market is a device for transferring money from the impatient to the patient. And I'm going to illustrate exactly what he's talking about right now. You see, there's this cycle of investing that takes place. And when somebody gets ready to enter that cycle, right, they get really excited. They say, you know what, I'm going to go in, I'm going to buy a stock. And they're optimistic. You know, they're seeing their friends or they're hearing about other people doing it, so they're very optimistic about it, right? They buy the stock or they're playing with options, and then they begin to make money. In fact, they begin to make money, they get excited. They're saying, wow, this is pretty sweet. I don't need an advisor, right? I got this. You got this. And then they feel the thrill. And this is where they begin to say to themselves, I'm a genius. I got, anything I touch is working. I have lots of winners, very few losers. And they get to the point to where there's euphoria, there's excitement. They're telling their neighbors, hey, this is what I'm doing. They fire their advisor because their advisor doesn't know what they're doing, and they do, right? That's that euphoria. And then what happens in the market when that euphoria exists, that's the point of maximum financial risk. And then the market starts to pull back. Anxiety sets in. Denial sets in, right? They say fear starts to creep in. And then they begin to say, and ask themselves, I'm still a genius, right? I mean, 6 months ago, I was killing it. A year ago, I was killing it. And now things aren't working like they did. I'm not seeing those immediate results. I'm still a genius, right? And then the market keeps pulling back. Desperation sets in, and panic sets in, and the market keeps falling. And they read the news, and the news is just horrible. And it's a bear market setting in, and there's too much debt in the country, and banks are this, that, and the other, and all this stuff creeps in, and capitulation comes, and then they say to themselves, this is crazy. Maybe the markets aren't for me, right? Maybe the markets aren't for me. In fact, they get their 401k statements in the mail. How many of you done this? And you can't even open it because you're panicked and despondent, and depression sets in, right? The stock market's rigged. It stinks. I'm not going to count on it. I'm going to go all cash. I'm going all in cash. This is ridiculous. And the news that you see and the media and everything's portraying just horrible, horrible stuff. And you know what? Here's where you should be licking your chops, because this is the point of maximum financial opportunity. When everybody's mad, when everybody is despondent, depressed, and the news, there's no positive news, that's when you should be looking to invest. Sir John Templeton said invest at the point of maximum pessimism, right? That's when you want to invest, because that's when the cycle repeats itself and hope sets in and relief and optimism. And we go through that whole thing all over again. You must understand that the markets have always rewarded the disciplined investor. Here on the chart, you can see all sorts of bad news, all sorts of bad things that occurred since 1970. And the growth of $1 through all of that, through time, through 2013 at least, $1 turns to $80, $90, even with the death of equities from Business Week and Black Monday and all these unfortunate wars and hurricanes and the great financial recession of 2008. The markets have always rewarded the discipline. You've got to understand that. Don't be your worst enemy, and find somebody that can help you avoid that market cycle that destroys wealth. Let me know how I can help you. www.igga.com, or you can email me, Brett, BRETT, at igga.com.
This is a purely public broadcast and is not intended to be personalized financial advice for any individual's specific situation. Each individual's financial situation is unique, and the topics discussed on this broadcast should not be relied upon and or considered as personalized advice. Specific financial securities discussed are not intended to address any listener's particular financial situation and should not be considered recommendations. This is for educational purposes only. For more information, please contact Iron Gate Global Advisors at info@igga.com or by calling 888-591-0334.